Hi, how you doing? And welcome back to the video on the channel. We're going to have a quick review of Game Week 25 and then a preview of my team going into Game Week 26, my sort of thoughts on who to captain and where I'm going with my team personally. So hopefully that might help you out. So if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. Closing in on 60 subscribers, which would be, a great next milestone to hit. So if you can help with that, it would be appreciated. And thank you for all the support on the videos so far. So let's get into it. And we've got my team for game week 25. And it's a bit of a wild Wednesday, to be honest, in terms of point scoring. Some really huge point hauls in for players like Van Dijk and the Arsenal defenders, as well as the Arsenal attackers. I went with Trent in the end. I brought in Trent and Odegaard, captaining Trent. And I don't regret it because, whilst he wasn't the top scorer, that was only Saka with two more points overall. And, you look at it and you kind of think, oh, yeah, I wish I'd sort of brought Van Dijk in instead of Trent. But really, with at the time, with the information I had, I wanted to sort of, I did think that Liverpool were going to get two clean sheets. And I felt like Trent had a bit more potential for something like an assist, and he might have even scored from a free kick. Obviously, Van Dijk got maximum bonus points in both games, but Trent was on for three bonus points before Liverpool scored, so it did show that he was contributing in the game. And Liverpool, like I said, did keep two clean sheets as well. Odegaard was great. De Bruyne ended up not scoring at all, and then Odegaard came in and managed to get a goal in the second game. There was sort of a bit of concern in terms of defensively, not loads of points, but it is what it is. And considering I only had 10 playing players in the game week, to get a ninth green arrow in a row since the World Cup, is awesome. So I think, not that I've got targets or anything, but I think top million, which would make it, inside the top 10%, is a great long term target. And I'm quite happy with how my team is set up as well. So, in terms of captaincy for this game week, I do think because they've got some big teams at the top of the table playing each other, does kind of make it a bit tricky. Man City at home to Newcastle, I would, consider captaining Haaland. I think that's a good option. I think a lot of people will be saying, Newcastle, they're just going to go back to their form before the League Cup final, but their form before the League Cup final wasn't that great anyway. And a lot of times, historically, teams are doing well. They do kind of have this sort of League Cup experience, and then afterwards they do struggle to pick themselves up again. They're kind of distracted before, and especially because Newcastle have lost, it's kind of now all the focus is going to turn onto that Champions League place and that pressure that comes with it. And all the other teams around them kind of are in form. I also think away at Man City is not the fixture you want to kind of go straight into to kind of, regain a bit of positive momentum. So I wouldn't hesitate to captain Haaland. I would possibly stay away from Liverpool Man United. I do think that's maybe a hard game to sort of predict. So if you do have sort of Salah or Rashford or someone like that, I would just maybe stay away this game week. And if you wanted to move off Haaland for captaincy, I would go with, Saka, Martinelli if you've still got him. I know a lot of people transferred him out. He's got three goals in the last two games. Or Odegaard from Arsenal. I think that would be the fixture that I would target. So moving on to my team for this game week, and I do think it's set up pretty well. And I kind of did, bear in mind the next few game weeks when I was making the transfers last game week. I think as well, not having taken a points hit for game week 25, I think that was a good decision. I think a lot of teams that did sort of, unless you had, the Liverpool or Arsenal players that you wanted to keep long term, I don't really think there was a lot of good point totals that game week. Um, this team, I think, is set up pretty well. I will be captaining Haaland, possibly, or sorry, probably I will be captaining Haaland. But I do also think that someone like Nketiah, who looks like he's lost his place in the team and, has actually got sort of a slight flag on his injury status for the game week, he is someone that I would look at transferring out. I am thinking of getting someone like Ivan Toney or Mbuemo in. Mbuemo's got three attacking returns in his last three game weeks, but Ivan Toney does have those, off the field issues that we're still not sort of sure about where they're going to be going. And obviously, if Tony does get a suspension, that is going to affect the Brentford attack. So I am inclined to wait until later at the deadline, just because to see how it works out, you might get a bit more information. I also don't have to make a transfer this game week. I've only got one free transfer, so I am sort of inclined to leave it a bit longer at least and just give myself that flexibility moving forward. Maybe another striker might become an option as well. Brentford do have Fulham, so it's not a sort of easy fixture where you think they're definitely going to score. And if Nketiah is fit, Bournemouth at home looks like a great fixture. So, not really any fires to put out in my team. I am happy to roll a transfer if I have to, and really sort of try and target the doubles coming up. But obviously, if Nketiah's injury situation gets a bit worse, that might also push a transfer through because he is a player I'm looking at getting rid of mid to long term. So thank you very much for listening. Hopefully, enjoy the video. Just a little update on my team and how it's going. So like we say, subscribe if you're new, like the video, it's all appreciated. Still think it's really cool to have the number of subscribers I do have. So thank you for all that support. Good luck in the game week, and I will see you in the next one.